My child, what if I told you that you know far less about your son than you believe? I know your heart is racing with disbelief at these words. You might be thinking, I know my son. I've raised him, watched him grow, cared for him like no one else. But I am not challenging your love for him or questioning your devotion. I am here to open your eyes to something hidden, something deeper than what you see with your eyes. There is a reason I'm saying this, and you need to hear it. I know the questions are starting to swirl in your mind, wondering what you could possibly have missed, what truth you don't already know. Hold on. Don't let fear or pride stop you from hearing me. What I'm about to reveal will shock you, but it will also awaken you. All the questions you have will be answered, right here, right now. So, my child, are you ready to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart? What I am about to share will change everything. The truth in your son's DNA. Before I reveal the truth about your son, truths you may have never considered, let me help ease your confusion. I can feel you wondering, what could I possibly not know about my own son? But listen closely, for what I'm about to share is not only important, it's life-changing. This message is about your son's DNA, the very core of who he is, the blueprint that shapes his existence. The unseen code that holds mysteries even you haven't yet discovered. It may seem strange at first what could be hidden in his DNA that you don't already know, but trust me, my child, this goes far beyond science. It's beyond what you can see. Give me just the next 8 minutes. 8 minutes to open your eyes to something hidden. 8 minutes that may change the way you see your son forever. Take a deep breath, clear your doubts, and open your heart. Once I begin, there's no turning back. The hidden truths and legacy. You've searched for answers in the chaos. You've cried out in silence, prayed through the pain, and wondered why the storms never seem to end. I've seen your heart, full of doubt, longing for peace and clarity. But what if I told you the answer has been right in front of you all along, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to see it? Do you remember Elijah in the cave? The wind howled, the fire raged, the earth trembled, but I was not in them. 1 Kings 19:12. Instead, I spoke in a whisper. And just like that, I placed a truth before you, a truth so profound that you've overlooked it without realizing it. This truth is about your son. You think you know him, you've seen him grow, held him in his weakest moments, guided him with love. But there's something about him you've never realized, not because you're blind, but because the secret is too glorious to grasp without my voice revealing it to you. His DNA, it's not ordinary. Within him flows a legacy older than time itself. A lineage of warriors, of fearless souls who turned storms into strength and battles into victories. A heritage written by my own hand. But here's the tragedy. Your son doesn't know who he is. And you don't either. Do you feel the weight of that? Let that sink into your heart. Once you understand, everything will change. The battle and deception. Listen carefully, my child. The enemy fears what he can't control. He trembles at the unknown, at the power he cannot twist, at the destiny he cannot steal. Just like Pharaoh trembled before Moses, a man who doubted himself and asked, who am I that I should go? Exodus 3:11. Darkness trembles at the power running through your son's veins. But how can he fight if he doesn't even know he is armed for war? How can he rise if he doesn't know he was born to stand? The enemy's greatest weapon isn't chains or fire or threats. It's deception. If the enemy can make your son believe he is ordinary, he will never step into the extraordinary calling on his life. Your son's ancestors walked through fire and came out unshaken like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They stood in the flames, and not a hair was singed or even smelled of smoke. Daniel 3:27. That same fire burns in him. But what good is fire if he doesn't know how to wield it? Do you see, my child, if your son stays ignorant, he'll be shackled by lies. Lies that tell him he is weak. Lies that say his struggles are curses, not the training ground for his greatest victory. Lies that keep him small, afraid, asleep to his true identity. So I ask you, when will you awaken him? A divine calling. This is why I've torn open the heavens to speak to you today. My voice calls out, just like it did to David, the shepherd boy. No one noticed, even his own father overlooked him. Yet I saw him, anointed him, and called him to be king. 1 Samuel 16:12. And now, I'm calling you not for yourself, but for your son. His DNA is more than a sequence of genes. It's a prophecy. A divine promise woven into his very being. My spirit, the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead, lives in him. Romans 8:11. Power flows through his veins, a power he doesn't yet understand. But my child, time is short. The world will try to silence him. It will drown out his voice with distractions, choke his purpose with lies, and mock his fire as foolishness, just like they mocked Noah, ridiculing what they couldn't understand. Do you see, the enemy's plan is not just to resist him, it's to convince him he is nothing before he even discovers he is something. The choice and destiny. Now, I ask you, will you let fear still what I have ordained? Will you let the world bury his calling in doubt, or will you rise like Esther? For such a time as this the choice is yours, my child. But know this, your son's destiny begins with you. Will you awaken him, or will you let the world decide who he becomes? Love, connection, and purpose. My child, listen carefully. Sometimes, all you need is just one person who sees you, who understands you deeply without judgment. One person you can share your heart with, knowing they'll hold it with care, trust, and love. In a world that can often feel overwhelming, don't forget that such connections are rare and precious. Sometimes, it's not about someone who has all the answers or can fix everything. It's about someone who is simply there, standing by your side, offering quiet strength when needed. Sometimes, the most powerful words are simply, "I've got you." Let that sink in, my child. Know that you're never truly alone. As you grow, you'll realize that quality in relationships is far more precious than quantity. True friends, those who stick with you through thick and thin, are treasures. Hold them close, and make sure they know you've got them too. This bond is sacred. Never let it go. True love and awakening. You deserve to fall in love with someone who truly sees you, someone who understands your fears and insecurities and approaches them with patience. Someone who checks in, even from a distance, because they can feel your heart no matter how far apart you are. This isn't just love, it's a soul connection, one that transcends time, distance, and circumstance. You deserve to be loved by someone who opens your eyes to new perspectives. Someone who challenges you, helps you grow, and expands your world in ways you never thought possible. Love should never distract you but should help you grow, both as an individual and together. You deserve someone who gives you undivided attention in a healthy, balanced way. Someone whose presence makes you feel at home, safe, cherished, and understood, walking in confidence and faith. Wake up with gratitude in your heart and joy in your soul. Leave yesterday behind, don't carry its burdens into today. Today is a new gift, filled with possibilities. Your journey is meant for joy, not to carry the weight of past disappointments. There's no room for unwanted energy. Fill today with positivity and expectation. When you nurture the light within you, watch how your dreams align effortlessly. The universe is conspiring to bring your desires into reality. But you must rise in faith, joy, and clarity. There's so much more ahead on your path, more than you can yet see. The higher your spirits soar, the higher the universe will lift you. Walk today with confidence, knowing you are heading exactly where you are meant to go. A promise of breakthrough. My child, even when it feels impossible, you keep praying. You continue to believe, walking through seasons that feel like they'll break you. Yet, you stand, reaching for me, trusting my plan, even when the road is unclear. Your bravery doesn't go unnoticed. Every prayer, every tear, every ounce of trust is honored. I see your heart, and I am pleased with your persistence. Even in the storm, your faith has not been in vain. I promise you, the breakthrough is coming. It will be greater than you can imagine. Keep pressing on, my child. Your time is coming. You're closer than you realize. January's promise of transformation. January is the month when everything you've worked for begins to unfold. The seeds you've planted will start to bloom. This is your time. What you've been praying for is beginning to come together in ways you can't fully understand yet. Feel the surge of life energy filling you, driving you toward your highest potential. Your creativity will flow, bringing you a peace you haven't known in a long time. The breakthroughs you've been longing for are here. The answers you need will come, and your path will be clear. This is your moment. Embrace it, for it is meant for you.